Hi everyone, this is Sandy Reese with StampItCrew.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today I have one final project using the beautiful Extraordinary Flora bundle. It comes with a stamp set that has this big, beautiful stamp set, 3 different sentiments and some little lines. And then we have a die that coordinates with the bundle, and it cuts out the images, and it also cuts out the images from the washi tape, which is the best part of this suite. Okay, before we get started, I want to remind you to please click subscribe if you haven't already done so, just so you don't miss out on future videos. And then when you spend $50 with me before tax and shipping, I'll send you a kit of that month's card class projects for free. Okay, so let's get started. Today I'm going to be using the purpley panel of the washi tape. And then our card supplies, we have some Summer Splash card base, which goes really well with the greenery on here. I have die cut a little label for a sentiment, a couple different widths of gold foil, and then we have the distressed brick embossing folder on this piece of white cardstock, and then another white for the inside because the card base is a little bit darker. All right. So we're going to take another piece of white that's 3.5 by 5.5, and this is for our washi tape. So we're going to, we'll just go ahead and cut off a panel before it turns to the pink shades. All right, we have made so many cards and have only used about half of that washi tape. I love this stuff. I don't think it's carrying over. I don't know if it'll move to online exclusives, but if you love it, I would get it now. And I would also definitely get the bundle to go with it so you can cut out these flowers in one swoop instead of having to hand cut them. Okay, so it goes down really nice on that white cardstock. And what we're going to do, we're going to emboss this in gold today. We're going to try, since we have our gold foil sheets, and we do have some gold colors in some of the images, that we're going to heat emboss some gold powder on this. Looking for my Versamark pad here. Okay, so I've used my embossing buddy over it, and then I'm going to use Versamark on the big stamped image. Make sure I get coverage all the way around and in the middle. All right. And then we're just going to line this up. It's a big, so you have to be careful when you're holding this. Line this up, and I just look at a couple of the images and make sure I have those in the center. So I'm just going to do this the best I can. I'm going to lower it, give it a good press all the way around because it is kind of big. Okay. Peel that off. Then we'll use some of our Wow Metallics gold embossing powder. Tap off the extra. Let's flip that around. Get the other half. Okay, I think I've got it on everything. Okay, now we're going to heat this. It'll take just a minute. And you notice that it's not perfect, but that's okay. I've got some of them really well, a couple are maybe off a hair, and that's on me. All right, once it gets going, it goes pretty quickly. And this washi tape is nice and heat resistant, so you can do this heat embossing on it. And you can see as it goes from grainy to shiny when it's finished. Okay, so it goes pretty quickly. So next we're going to die cut this using our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. All right, and I already have one pre-cut just to save a little bit of time. So I'm going to bring in those pieces. All right. Okay, so let's do a little stamping. I actually need some white embossing powder. Let me grab that. Forgot about my words. Okay, I've die cut a strip, and I'm a little label here, and I'm doing a wedding card, so I wanted to make sure I didn't just use a strip. I wanted to have a pretty edge on it. I know which set it comes from. I can't think of the name of it, but I will post it on my blog in the supplies since I can't remember the name. It has a lot of words in it. That's what I know. Okay. So on here, we're going to stamp congratulations, and we're going to heat emboss it with white. My paper's a little warped. My washi tape is not, but my paper is. Hold on one sec. Let me tape this down so maybe that'll help. I'll have to get a new piece for the next video. Okay, that hopefully will hold it down enough. So I'm going to do it slightly to the right of center. The left side might be covered a little bit by the flowers. Okay, we're going to heat emboss this with white. That's maybe a little high, but it's not too bad. I'm not going to worry about that. Come back. That's such a pretty little font. Okay, we're going to stamp the inside as well. But we're going to use the color. I'm not going to use the embossing powder. We're going to use our Summer Splash ink, and we're going to stamp it for the Extraordinary Couple, which goes with the name of the stamp set. Let's see if I can stamp this without getting extra ink all over the place. This is one reason why we're going back to the felt stamp pads, because the sponge ones are very spongy, so the stamps tend to sink in there a little bit, and then ink gets around on the block, and then it gets pretty messy. Okay, so now it's time for assembly. Let's see if my tape runner's cooperating with me today. It is not. It's rolling back on itself, which makes me crazy. So sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Liquid glue doesn't do that, so I'm going to go with that. Okay. And let's do the front. Not a whole lot. It has a little more supplies than the card we did the other day, but not too many more. Okay, put a layer of I love this brick embossing folder. It is just the best background for almost anything. All right, I'm going to put my 2 gold strips down, and you don't ever want to get adhesive on the gold foil part. So be very careful putting adhesive on there. Glue, it doesn't matter what it is. So I'm going to put these 2 differing widths next to each other, but I'm going to leave a gap. Okay, and then I'm going to pop up our sentiment. And then we're going to fill in with all these pretty flowers. All right. I am going to start with, let's turn these over so we can see what we're working with. I'm going to start with the big rose. And because it's on white cardstock, it doesn't really matter where we put our Stampin' Dimensionals. Let's grab one of these. I now have to cut some of these because I run out of the center. Put that one there. Let's grab this one next. And the goal here is to just kind of do a nice, pretty swag going up. So you can use as many or as few of these flowers as you want to do. But it's a wedding card, so wedding cards need to be special. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to glue down this one because I'd like to have, you know, some different heights and levels and all that good stuff. I think I do want to put, I'm going to pop up this one. Whoop. I'm going to slide that right in there because I don't want the label showing. Perfect. All right, let's do this back there. I just like to fill in. I don't really go, this is not how I did my original sample. So I don't mind, you know, stepping outside and just doing whatever strikes me as what I need to do. I want this bigger flower here. I think I'm going to pop that one up. And let's pop up this one. Maybe up here. And this is kind of, I can't pick it up. This is kind of a longer greenery. Let's see. I don't want it going out too far on its own. I think I'm going to stop. I think I'm going to stop right there. We are going to save these for a tag or something. Oh, look, I have even more down here. We'll save these for a tag. And I don't know where all this mess is coming from. Okay, so let's add, of course, we've got to add some gold bling. So we're going to grab some of our sequins. I'm just going to lay those out so I can kind of see what we have. I might have used all the big one. Oh no! That's what happens. Look, they multiplied. They multiplied. Okay. Well, I can have my choice now what I want to do. I'm going to put, because we have so many in here, I can use as many as I want. I'm just going to put little dots all around. Pull out my poker and start gluing some sequins on here. Do medium up here. Do another small one over here. Yep, I think that's good. Okay. And then, you know what? Let's bring back, I'm going to flip those over and hopefully they'll dry. Let's bring back a couple of these flowers and do a little swag on the inside. Since it's for a wedding card, let's just make it pretty. We won't pop them up because it's the inside of the card. And I'm going to glue that little, wait, I want the bigger one. I've got a sequin glued to that. I've got that one. And then maybe we'll do one more. Why not? One right there, and let's put it, whoa. And let's put a sequin on the inside. We're gonna go outside the box and actually put a sequins on the inside of the card. Isn't that pretty to get that, to open that and find a beautiful wedding card there? Okay, I hope you enjoyed today's project. Make sure to check back next time. On Thursday, I will not be live. I'm traveling to Chattanooga for the weekend, but I will post something. So just be watching at noon and I will post another fun video for you. All right, thanks everybody for stopping by and we'll see you next time.